morning. It's Wednesday, August 23rd, and thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Andrea Bonner, Chair of Consumer Arts and Sciences Center of Excellence, and I'm filling in for Todd Duplantis today. I have the privilege of being joined by Dr. Amy Tan, who is the Dean of HCC's English and Communications Department, and Dr. Tan is going to share with us how to find us online. Dr. Tan?
Good morning. Good morning, Andrea. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and on YouTube. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m., and that's Monday through Friday.
Great. So for Small Business Wednesday, we're going to feature a winner of HCC's business plan competition. And Tracy, I'll be with you shortly. We're going to be meeting with Dr. Tracy Johnson, who's the owner and CEO of CyFair Psychological Group of Texas, and she's also the winner of the HCC business plan competition. But first, Amy is going to visit with a man on a mission to help our students find jobs. That is Dr. James Mable, who is the Career and Job Placement Services Director. Dr. Tan?
Good morning, Dr. Mable. How are you doing?
Doing well. Not doctored yet, but thank you very much. One day soon. One day soon.
That's right. We're working on that. Well, welcome back to the show. We're looking forward to hearing all about what your department is offering our students this semester, including some upcoming fairs. But first, can we get a brief explanation of how students can connect with your team?
Yes, so there are multiple ways that students at HCC can connect with career and job placement services. First, we are going to be sending information out to students, all enrolled students, about how to access their Career Hub accounts. If they go to hccs.edu/Career Hub, they will be able to access Career Hub, and they can schedule appointments. They can upload their resumes to view jobs, apply for jobs. They can see all of the career fairs that are taking place this semester. And that's online. Now, we have 6 career centers spread throughout the HCC system at all of our main campuses, including some of our satellite campuses. And more information about those locations can be found on our website at hccs.edu/career planning.
That's wonderful. Students are able to find out all this information either online or they can actually come in person. And I know that you have a wonderful presence across the system trying to make sure that you're there for all of our students. Why should students attend career fairs? And where can they go to view the list of career fairs to see who is registered?
So HCC students, first, career services, one of our main roles is to be that bridge between the student and their career. So we connect with employers in just about every single industry in the Houston area on behalf of our students. And this is why we bring those employers to our career fairs. This year alone, we're hosting 28 career fairs and networking events. And we do that just to ensure students are able to connect with these employers to learn about internships, co-ops, part-time and full-time jobs in their field. Because the reality is students are coming to HCC to gain a skill set and then get to work as soon as possible. And so our role is to, as I said, to be the bridge to connect the students with those opportunities. Students may be applying online for opportunities, but it's another thing to actually connect with someone face-to-face that represents a company that is specifically looking to hire an HCC student or graduate. And that's why we host so many career fairs, from those being industry-specific to those being for all majors. And students can view all of those career fairs in their Career Hub accounts. When they go to Career Hub events, they'll see like I said, 28 career fairs, but they'll also see some networking opportunities with some of our partners that are coming up this semester as well.
That's wonderful. And I know that you also offer advice to students on how to approach companies and how they should be talking to partners for these opportunities. And I know things have probably changed since I was on the job market. It's been a few years. So tell me about the process. Is a resume still an important part of the job search process?
Yes, the reality is the resume is even more important to students because of COVID. Everyone moved online to network, and companies did too, to filter and to find candidates. So the resume is such an important document more than ever, especially in the last 3 to 4 years, because more companies are utilizing more applicant tracking systems. They're utilizing LinkedIn and other digital tools to filter and find the skill set that they need to be productive at their companies. And so how students represent their information, represent their experience, their potential, their abilities, their uniqueness, their essence on their resumes, all of that makes a huge difference in this highly digitized environment. You know, we've heard about AI and how that is going to change our lives, right? Well, I know that, you know, the resume, how companies will filter and determine who to call for an interview will be really, really dependent upon AI tools that they use, you know, because potentially there may be hundreds of people applying for a highly sought after type internship or job. And so how that student formats their resume, how they present their information matters more than ever. And that's where we come in, because students can schedule appointments with us in their Career Hub accounts to meet either over the phone or via Cisco WebEx or in person to discuss the resume, to critique the resume, to break down each section of the resume to ensure it's successful and ready for prime time.
And James, do they have other keywords on the resume that AI is searching for?
You're exactly right. This is why companies try to maximize their time, right? Many people may add fluff to their resumes. And so if a student meets with career services about their resume, especially some of our career centers that support very specific programs or really tied to very specific industries, this is where we can help them identify those keywords in those industries, that vernacular that is spoken in that industry, and ensure that their resume is speaking the same language as that employer. The reality is employers are looking for very specific skill sets. And how do they know that this student has the potential to be successful in a role? It's going to be dependent upon what is placed upon that resume, how the student articulates their abilities, how they articulate their education that they're pursuing and their work experiences and so forth. So AI is going to really help companies, but I believe it's going to help us to help our students be successful in the job market.
Such a critical component and service that you're providing. And I know that you have some important partnerships this year. Tell us about the Dell Technologies and the PepsiCo partnerships. How are these companies working with career services?
So first, PepsiCo has been very, very, I'll say very focused on student success, because they provided hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships over the last few years to ensure students have their tuition books paid for, as well as being connected with opportunities at PepsiCo and specifically Frito-Lay in the Houston area. So we are working with PepsiCo to organize a networking event. They have quite a few positions available at their various locations in the Houston area. So they are hosting an event sometime in late October or early November. We're finalizing those logistical details. And then we're going to be engaging students about that event very, very soon. Because, you know, as I said, PepsiCo, the parent company of Frito-Lay, is very focused on student success at HCC. At the same time, they want to ensure students are able to work at PepsiCo and Frito-Lay. And so this is how we're partnering with them. In regards to Dell Technologies, Dell started engaging career services a couple of years ago, and we have hosted virtual info sessions with Dell over the past 2 years, and those info sessions have been very successful. Dozens and dozens of students are participating in those info sessions, and Dell has actually hired at least 10 to 15 students from those info sessions. And so Dell also was pleased with the talent that has been hired at their company from HCC specifically. And so they have become a sponsor of career and job placement services. So if students are actually using their Career Hub accounts, scheduling appointments, uploading their resumes, they're seeing messages right now about Dell Technologies being a sponsor of career services. But Dell is actually attending quite a few career fairs this year, and they're going to be hosting their own first virtual info session coming up in September, as well as their face-to-face networking session at the West Loop campus on November 7th. And students can look in Career Hub and learn more about that networking session. Dell is really, really excited to hire as many students as possible for a variety of roles at their company. And we're looking forward to connecting them with our students. So more information about Zelle Technologies will be forthcoming and will be sent out to students very, very soon via email and text, just like PepsiCo.
So exciting, excellent partnerships. We have 20 seconds left. I know some students don't have access to professional attire. What can they do?
So students can go to their Career Hub accounts right now and schedule a career gear for men or Dress for Success appointment for women to get a referral to those organizations. Those organizations provide professional suits, professional business attire that are brand new. They tailor your suit for you, and it's absolutely free. We want you to be successful at our career fairs and on the interview. So please schedule an appointment with us to get that referral to Career Gear and Dress for Success.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, James Mable, Director of HCC's Career Service and Job Placement. We're going to have all of your information in our post after the show. And back to you, Andrea.
Great, great. Next, we are going to be moving on to Dr. Tracy Johnson, who's the owner and the CEO of CyFair Psychological Group of Texas and one of the winners of the 2023 HCC Business Plan Competition. Welcome to the show, Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson, I think you are on mute.
Okay, how's that?
That is better. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good morning.
Dr. Johnson is also the 2021 graduate of HCC Small Business Success Series. So, Dr. Johnson, let's begin with you giving us a brief description of your business.
Well, so the first thing I do want to clarify is that I'm not the winner, but I was one of the finalists in the competition.
Okay.
But at CyFair Psychological Group of Texas, we're like a dream team of experts who specialize in doing thorough brain and mind checkups. And so we use the latest tools in the psychology world. We're all about making sure that we've got the facts straight through meticulous evaluations to ensure that one receives an accurate diagnosis and information that they can totally rely on, whether it's for health, education, or legal matters.
Great, great. So, Dr. Johnson, so what led you to being a psychologist and an entrepreneur? That's a lot to take on.
Yeah, and a lot went into that, actually. And just starting, my story started with me being raised by a single mother and considered an at-risk youth at the time. So I wanted to change the narrative and go to college, and lots of people helped me. I started by majoring in business in college. That led to a Silicon Valley job. And I also volunteered to teach computers to at-risk youth. That led me to study family and child counseling and psychology, and then on to a doctorate in psychology. And then in the earlier years of my career, work in family led me to my calling and specialization.
That's great. I was a business major first too. So I'm always, I love to know when people start with business, because that's kind of the foundation of anything that you do. So tell us what led you to specialize in assessments and open your business.
Well, I studied postdoctorate at Stanford, where I studied genetic conditions that affected psychological behaviors. I also taught psychology full-time at universities in 3 different states. And I also studied along the way African-American and minority populations. But the real thing was that during these years, we had a family tragedy that could have been prevented if it not for a misdiagnosis early on in the series of events. So from that point on, I resolved to dedicate my expertise and my practice to psychological assessments.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you were able to use that experience to kind of, progress what you were doing. So tell me, what is the problem you and your company are solving?
Most psychologists focus on counseling and therapy, but they don't focus so much on assessments and evaluations, and less thorough or no assessments at all can lead to problems. And so first needed treatment is missed from the very start because of a less thorough, less informed plan of treatment. And at a minimum, this leads to delayed outcomes, wasted time, resources, and funds. And in more tragic cases, it causes worsening mental and physical conditions, and worst of all, loss of life. And so the solution that CyFair Psychological Group is dedicated to is by providing outstanding and thorough assessments and critical tools that lead to relief and positive outcomes in mental health.
That's great to hear. I like that, the problem and the solution there together. So you are an existing company, started a while back. So what happened leading up to and during the pandemic? Because that was an interesting time for everyone.
Yes, that can't be more under or overstated. But I built business by specializing in my current offerings, then by adding more types of psychological evaluations. So starting with child and adult ADHD evaluations, giftedness, IQ testing, and school admissions testing, but also disability accommodations. And then later, I got more complex evaluations. So I added things like pain management, bariatric evaluations, personal injury, estate planning, and other types of legal evaluations. And my business kept growing year after year. I was busy, and I was referring business to others. And
that's a good problem to have, having to refer business out to others because you're so busy. So that's, during the pandemic, we heard of so many companies that failed, unfortunately. So it's good to hear that, you grew in a sense and were able to outsource some of that growth to others. So the business plan competition, how did that help you in your business and just in general?
Yeah, and so I want to go back to the previous point. The business wasn't growing during the pandemic. It was growing prior to the pandemic. It was growing rapidly. That's when I was referring out a lot. And then when the pandemic hit, first I couldn't do the virtuals, and the companies were pulling back and they were adjusting to staying at home, and so were the people. So business actually slowed.
Okay.
And in fact, one of my largest state clients pulled back too. But I took the time to start evaluating how I wanted to grow my business, because I have been thinking about that for a while. And so then I went to the Small Business Success Series first by HCC, and that helped me evaluate my possibilities and really start a plan to expand. But then in 2022, I paused a bit because my daughter was graduating high school and starting college. And then in 2023, I entered the business plan, and that changed everything. And so, and then you asked how did the business plan competition actually help me? Well, in a number of ways, the discipline and accountability of the competition schedule was great. And our house actually got flooded during the competition, but the training session and advising schedule kept me working and on track and accountable. And quite frankly, I might have paused if not for that great motivation and support that I got from the competitions. And my advisors were really great. Ed Papula helped me focus on marketing position and penetration strategy. And Ramona Sanders from Lift Fund was great in counseling and feedback with the numbers.
Great. Well, I'm glad those are some great resources for you to help you with that. So tell us, what is next for CyFair Psychological Group?
Well, I've developed a plan to expand my business to include counseling and medication services to patients after these assessments as the next course of action. I've referred patients for years, empowering other counselors, psychiatrists, and psychologists to make better decisions. But now, by expanding, I can move even more so to ensure that our patients remain in-house and be with counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists that are dedicated to making the best use of these evaluations and the thorough evaluations. And by doing so, we can also avert tragedies and save lives.
Outstanding. Well, it's been really good getting to know you for this brief amount of time that we've had together, Dr. Johnson. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Tracy Johnson, who again is the owner of CyFair Psychological Group of Texas and one of the winners of the 2023 HCC Business Plan Competition. We'll have your information in the post after the show, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, and continued best wishes for success for you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Great, great. All right, Amy, we are back and up with all of the news, events, and announcements that HCC's got going on, and there is a lot. So first up is the faculty exhibition out of Longing, and it's at HCC Central, which is our campus. So that exhibition is inspired by mythical creatures and religious symbolism. The artist's inspiration is man's need to personify his wishes for what does not exist. This is only one of the faculty exhibitions open around the HCC system, and I really encourage people to go around the campuses and take those exhibitions in. It is open through November 3rd, and it's at the HCC Central Fine Arts Gallery, and best of all, it is free. So check our post after the show for the link to register for it. So tell us about the Fall Food Trailer.
Yes, so we have the Fall Food Trailer at HCC, and that is a partnership with the Houston Food Bank. Free groceries are available to HCC students, faculty, and staff through the Community Health Market Trailer and the Houston Food Bank. This is offered at HCC campuses. No pre-registration is needed, but do go early before items run out. And today they will be at the HCC Missouri City campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, that's today. Check out the post after the show for more info.
Awesome. Actually, that Missouri City campus is close to me. I might have to stop by. So next we've got Coffee with the Cop at Northline campus. So our HCC police will meet with students and enjoy a cup of coffee with you. That's always good to get to know the campus police that patrol our areas. It's 8:30 to 11 a.m. today. So they'll be out there for a little bit longer. Also today, Wednesday, August 23rd at the HCC Northline campus. Check our post after the show for registration info. So next, our job fairs.
Yeah, coming up, work study job fairs, path to profession. Students eligible for work study can attend HCC's upcoming Path to Profession job fairs. Remember, these students can secure part-time work while still in school, where they can earn up to $15 an hour. First up, we have one from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's going to be on Monday, August 28th, located at Central College. And then there will be one from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, August 29th. That one will be at our Northline campus. Again, be sure to check out the post after the show with all of the dates and registration info.
Great. And next we have Recipes for Success. Student Life tips are back. So take note of Student Life's note-taking presentation. I don't think people take notes anymore. That's good to hear that they've got this coming up. It's the first of several now that classes have begun. If you feel you could improve your skills or you find that studying does not lead to the grades you want, you can learn from all of these successful methods with more to come in the fall. So effective note taking, it's going to be held on August 28th, test taking strategies on August 30th, Eagle Chat tutoring on August 30th as well, and they're all virtual on Teams. So check our post after the show for more information.
I agree. I mean, I feel like note-taking was an important thing that I learned, and I think it's different because we're more digital now. So yeah. It's just interesting to watch how things are shifting.
That's how I learned. So
that's right. Same. Well, classes have begun. Our regular term is off to a good start this week, but we still have registration for fall. So fall registration is still open with courses offered in person and online. We have our shorter, more condensed sessions, such as Second Start and F8B. Second Start classes are going to begin September 18th. And just like all of our other sessions, we offer multiple modalities. So you can sign up for an online anytime course with those have no established class meeting unless it's listed. We also have online on a schedule where the meeting time is set and you still get to see your professor face-to-face virtually. We have hybrid courses where the lecture class meets partially face-to-face and partially virtually. We have our traditional in-person, face-to-face courses, and we have some hybrid labs, which are our lab and studio courses. So to learn more about all of our programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, be sure to visit hccs.edu/apply.
Coming up, we will visit with HCC's Northwest Office of Student Life to see what they have been up to for Welcome Week. And for Thursday, Family Fun Day, we'll welcome the Fort Bend Museum to see those historic houses in Richmond. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Dr. Tan, it was great being on with you today, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.